So what I'm going to do in this video, because I've already shown you how to create your Vesper model using your model kit, I'm going to show you how to make some of the more challenging, the trickier Lewis structures now. Because what happens, we've been looking at single bonds, but what happens if we need a double bond? So I'm going to show you exactly what happens. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to start with just my central atom. Okay. Notice you've got your 4 different holes here. So let's say, for example, I have 2 double bonds. How would I make that using the molecular model kit? Well, I'm going to be using these springs. Okay, so these springs, what you do to create a double bond, you're going to use 2 springs because you're not going to use the sticks. Okay, so you'd have 2 springs like that. Okay, and then you're going to connect them using one of the atoms. Now that atom needs to have 2 holes in it. So what you do to create a double bond, you're just going to hook one up to one of them. Then you're going to hook up the other one, and there I've got a double bond. Okay, you can even create a triple bond, okay, which I'll show you really quickly. If I use 2 of the black ones, okay, so I've got a double bond here, okay, with 2 springs, and I can add a 3rd spring here. It gets a little bit tricky, but it's still possible to do. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my double bond really quickly. Let's say, for example, I have 2 double bonds. So I've got 1 double bond here, okay, and then I'm going to make my second double bond using 2 more springs. Now notice, and I'm going to grab a red one right here. Notice I've used up the 4 different possible spots, your 4 different electron domains or electron groups. So here, this is going to have 2 electron groups because each double bond counts as 2 electron groups, okay? So this would be a linear shape. So that's how you would create 2 double bonds. What if instead I want a single bond and a double bond, okay? Well, for single bonds, you'd use the sticks. So I'd have 1 stick, and then I'd have my atom. And notice here, I'm going to have 3 electron groups. 1, 2 for the double bond, and the 3rd with a lone pair. Okay, so the electron domain geometry would be trigonal planar, while the shape would be bent. Okay, so that's how you do some of the trickier ones and figure out how to draw them, because the way you would draw this is you'd have 2 atoms that are going downwards in that bent shape. They're not going to be linear. So that's how you use the molecular model kit to help you see how the Vesper model lets us know what this shape would look like. Okay, so double bonds are really easy. All you have to do is you have to use those springs right there. The last type of resonance that we've looked at, okay, so we had this example where you could have a double bond here, and remember it's just an average of the 2. That's one type of resonance. The other type of resonance we looked at is if you have 2 single bonds and 1 double bond. So this is NO3 minus. Notice you've got 1 up, 1 down, 1 down. So this is trigonal planar. You have 3 electron domains, okay? And you draw it 3 different ways. So you'd have a double bond here, double bond here, double bond here, and then what actually exists is an average of those 3, okay? So that's how we know what it would look like.